Okay, there we go. So by the way, if y'all didn't know, every call is going to be recorded from now on, and we're gonna have a nice little playlist for all the major calls that we have. And I know we have them for GC Worldwide, but it's going to be a certain structure for all the calls that we have for GC Champions. So hello, it's good to be on a builders call. I haven't done one in a little bit. At least I don't think so. I don't think I've actually done a real training on a builders call for a while, so it's good to be back. And there's a lot of new people on the team, and I feel like there's a lot of new people. So I mean, let me give you one tip that will help you become very successful when it comes to doing what we do, and that's just running a people business. When you deal with a business that involves a lot of people, one of the best things you can do is just get more people involved. That's it. So your job, it doesn't end when someone gets started in the platform. If you think like that, then you're horribly mistaken, because that's only the first step. How many of you would say you attend like 90% of the calls? Drop like a seven. If you attend, you'd say, out of all the calls, you might miss one every now and then, but you're on most of them. Yeah, I can agree with this list, because I'd be seeing these names. I don't know about iPhone 7 Plus. I don't know who that is, but I can agree with most of these people. And I'll tell you one thing. Oh, it's not okay. It's Santosh, my guy. So wait, iPhone 7. Come on, we gotta get you in. We gotta get you a new phone. I just took that in. iPhone 7. Um, so the job doesn't end when you get someone started. Just like how when you got started, I mean, just joining isn't going to make you successful. Now, don't get me wrong, you're part of an organization, you're part of a community that's going to really help you, but there's a lot more to it. And it's like the best way I can think about it is like you put the running shoes on, you have like the racing gear, whatever. You go on the track, when they're like, oh, ready on your mark, set, whatever. Racers on your mark, get set, go. It's like the person announces that, you go out of the gate, and then you stop after 10 meters. That's where a lot of people just kind of decide, you know what, like I made it to the track. That's all I'm going to do. And somehow I'm going to win the race. And the race in this case is you against yourself to become the person, that you set out to be. The reason why you join is because you guys want to make a couple $100 a month. Maybe you want to make a couple $1,000s a month. You saw a call today like Kane was doing, and that gives you, it helps you like re-visualize why you're here. And I think those calls are really important because, attending opportunity calls are one thing to actually have, customers get started, have distributors get started and build a team. But it kind of really helps you understand it. So what's one thing I want to ask? What's one thing that y'all learned from that call that Kane did? Even though that wasn't a training, by no means was that a training. That was a call to get new people on. But what would you say you realized about yourself after listening to that? Because he does it a different way, and I love it. Because Kane has this ability to really slap you up and put you into shape. I really think to yourself, you know what? I don't think I'm doing enough. Especially with what he said at the end. Did y'all hear what he said when he's like, y'all think the news is bad. Now let's look at history. That perspective is very important. And the reason, if you didn't notice, the call today is called The Power of Perspective. So I really like that he said that, because I feel like what a lot of us struggle with is having the right perspective when it comes to building a business. Now, I'm going to build on these 4 points really hard on what you should do to really change your perspective to become successful in this business. And these are things that I noticed that a lot of people struggle with. People kind of find themselves stuck for these reasons, or it's a limiting belief that prevents them from achieving the success that they want because they're stuck being the person they are now and they cannot change their thinking. Because can we agree that your thinking is what dictates a lot of your success? A lot of it. The way you think about yourself and the way you think about what you have and what you are doing will be one of the major indicators to how successful you will be, because it is your limiting beliefs 99% of the time that will always hold you back. And this can be through trading, This can be through building a business. This could be through posting on social media. See, some of you got started. I've never spoken to you in my life, and I see you posting like crazy. I see, especially a lot of the Dutch team. I've never spoken to a lot of you because y'all are so new, and I see TikToks, or GCC Arabia. I see the TikToks, and that tells me that you're doing something because you have that thinking, and that limiting belief isn't holding you back. But how many of us, and I'll include myself in this, when I first started, I really believed that I wasn't someone who could do well on social media. How many of us believe that, social media is a bit of a task for us? It's a little bit difficult. It's not who we are, or the way we present ourselves isn't who we don't really see ourselves growing a massive account or a massive empire, or we're doing it because everyone else is doing it, but we're not sure if we're actually going to make it in that sense. Who can agree with that? Who had or currently has limiting beliefs when it comes to posting and talking about what you do? Because I promise you, if you really had the right perspective on things, you'd be able to talk about what you do the same way Kane talks about it. 100%. Because one thing you'll notice in the top leaders is that their perspective on what we do is very different than what the average person thinks. So number one in changing your perspective is looking at where you are now. Look at where you are now. One of the, the conversations that you have with your peers on this team, the conversations you have with your friends, the conversations you have with your family, the conversations you have with your mentors. These are all conversations that are very important in dictating who you're going to become. But the most important conversation that you need to have is with yourself. Always. I heard this from Eric Worre one time, and he said, that one of the best conversations you're going to have, and you won't really realize a lot about yourself until you talk to yourself. And in a way that is really reflecting on where you are, where you find yourself. So really take a second to look at who you are and where you are right now. So maybe I'm a full-time university student trying to make ends meet by doing this platform. Maybe I'm a single mother who is trying her ass off to do the best for her kids, and that's why I'm in the platform. Maybe I'm a 25-year-old man who has dealt with, insecurity and everyone hating on them and just everyone telling them that they're not good enough. And I needed an escape. So I found a platform that can help me to do that. For some of you, maybe the pain of just watching your parents come home and complaining about back pain and talking about bills and their inability to do things that they want to do because the money prevents them to do it, that could be your position right now. So you see how there's very different situations, but the conversation you have with yourself of where you are now becomes very important, because you gotta look at, yes, your current situation, and you could look at it through the problems. This is really important. You can look at it through the perspective of your problems, or you can think of it in the perspective of progress. There's two P's, either problems or progress. The one you focus on the most is the one where you're going to stay at. Why would you want to be stuck in the problem when you can actually make progress? So if I'm looking at myself in 2018 and I look at Christian in December of 2018, when I barely had a couple $100 in my bank account because I made some money from the business, I had to take a loan to actually start trading, but I found myself being in a position. So I can tell you a story of, where I was in December of 2018. I was 3 months into the business. I had just started. I was 20 years old. And I was studying biomedical science. I was going through exams. I was stressed out, but those are my problems. But what I realized was that my potential solution and the key to my progress was the fact that I was in a platform that I could surround myself with like-minded people and also learn from six-figure mentors, millionaire mentors. So once I realized my situation currently actually was something positive rather than negative, then it gave me a bit of posture and the right perspective to really understand what I need to do. Does that make sense? You got to look at your situation right now, evaluate it, but also don't take for granted what you have. Because for some of you, I get messages from some of you, new people, and also even the top earners telling me that the business is an escape from reality. And reality to them is like their family life. I had someone message me a few days ago, and she's like, I had a horrible day and things happened that I never thought would happen in my life. But this is the escape that I have. And this is why I'm so dedicated to becoming successful here. And I heard that, and I'm like, it's interesting how that is. Because some people might think, oh yeah, I'm just trying this out, but others might think of this as, this is my only way out. How many of you feel like this is your only way out? And if it's not this, you don't know what you're going to do. Let's be vulnerable for a second. Because at my point in December of 2018, that's exactly how I felt. I said, if it's not this, I know that I'm not passionate about what I'm studying. So if I go back to that and I quit on myself here, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself because I have no other way. And to me, it was all in or nothing. Okay. Yeah, either this or 9 to 5 for life. And some of you, by the way, might be okay with that. And that there's actually nothing wrong with that. But I think everyone knows that you need another stream of income right now to even just survive. It's not even about a luxury anymore. You need another stream of income to survive. And that's important. So look at where you are now and be grateful for what you have. Gratitude is important. So that's number one. Okay. Number two, which ties more, it's kind of, I already segued into this. So it's number one, look at where you are now. And number two, don't forget what we have. So many of you think that you need to make $100,000 to be able to talk about this with confidence. How many of you have that limiting belief where you're like, I can't talk about this with other people because I myself haven't seen all the success yet? Let me give you a really good example of this, is school. Everyone says when you finish high school, you go to university or college. But the success rate of university and college, and success, I mean people getting a job in their field, is less than 25%. Less than 25% of people that go to college or university today in 2022 actually get a job in the field that they studied in. So we are talking about a system that has proven not to get results, but yet it's kind of common knowledge that you have to do that. This is what Robert Kiyosaki always talks about. He goes as far as to say the school system is a scam. And I can tell you, as someone who really loved school and actually loved the environment and I loved whatever, I can honestly say that if I hadn't gone, I wouldn't have met the person that introduced me to this, so that's important. But aside from that, I mean, I paid 40, 50 grand to not even pursue it. And that's a lot of people today. Yeah, number two is don't forget what you have. So you have a platform that can really give people opportunity and give them self-control of their life. And that's the major thing of what I'm trying to say. Because with perspective, if you're too focused on seeing all the success and getting all the results and being that person to get yourself to wherever, like if you're focused on that, and that is the single wall holding you back from sharing a message with a lot of people, or even worse, you might not think you're good enough because you haven't made enough money. And that's a limiting belief that crushes so many people in any industry that I've seen. Any industry that I've seen. So that is, let me reframe it in another way that will help you understand things. And I think I asked this on the platinum call, or I might have been, whatever call I was doing, one of the many calls. I said, if you bring someone into this platform, can you confidently say that they can see success if they put in the action and they follow the system? If they apply the action and they follow the system, do you believe that if you bring someone onto this platform, they will see success? Forget Forex, forget crypto, forget NFTs, forget investing, forget affiliate marketing, just the environment that we have. Do you think the environment that we create can breed success? 100%, because we've done it time and time again. I'm telling you, we could be selling spoons and we could still create as many success stories as we have today. We're lucky to have what we have. And that's a blessing, because I've seen other companies, I've seen other organizations, I've seen other leaders, and I know, and y'all don't understand how many people just want to be saved and they want an environment that will help them become better versions of themselves. And many people don't get that. They might have a glimmer of that, like a little bit, little tiny bit in whatever job they do or side hustle or business or organization, but they never really fully believe that if they get anyone from the street into their community, that will create a successful person, because our entry level is $99. I know a lot of you don't like talking about that, but it is. And even 50, and what did Kane say? The perceived value, $1,500 for what we have is a joke. It really is. If they increase prices, I would actually be happy about that, because it would help me filter to see who's really serious about this. Because how are you going to start a restaurant for 50 grand or 25 grand? And you start a business like this, which can create generational wealth, and it's $1,500. That's kind of laughable. And no wonder why people don't take it seriously sometimes. No wonder why people don't take it seriously sometimes. So don't forget what you have. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, this is going to help with your posture. This is going to help with your posture. You are no longer regular. So I need you to understand that. Write that down in big letters. You are no longer regular. Or you can say you are no longer average. Just by being here, you are no longer the same person. And I think someone was talking to me. I think it might have been Naomi. We were on a call yesterday. And I told her, I said, your brain is like fried now, and you can never go back to the old way of thinking. And she starts laughing. I hope it was her. I think it was. And I said, your brain, like you can't go back to the same way you were thinking before, whether you wanted to or not. And you can't go back to the same thing you're doing right now. I promise you 6 months from now, you won't be able to look at what you're doing right now and actually go back to it, because it won't be possible, because now your thinking and your level of belief has gone through the roof. How many of you think you're employable? For my all-in people that don't want to work for anyone, if you are cool with a 9 to 5, you don't have to answer this. But if you're one of those people that claims that you can never work for someone again, how many of you do you believe that I could employ you? Like if I was, let's say, I don't know, a fabric company, or I was a tech company, or I was a toy company, I don't know. Could I employ you? Could I hire you? Are you employable? I don't think so. I really don't think many of you would ever accept working for someone else again. And that goes to show you. And some people, by the way, that will say yes or no, I'm not employable, they haven't even made $1 million or $100,000 or $50,000, but their mindset is already thinking, I'm getting there. So how dare you even try to employ me? I will never work for someone else again. I made a joke when I was with Edwin one time, and he was saying something. He's like, how is that? I said, horrible. He's like, why? I said, because you sound employable. But this was just an example. This is like, his head is way beyond that. His head was beyond the entrepreneur mindset before mine was, because he's actually someone that introduced me to that when I was younger. But now I see it. You don't want to do it. I'm not employable. My mindset isn't at that level. Your mindset has gone to another realm that you cannot, the gates are closed. You go into this realm of thinking and you can no longer go back. And that's a good thing. that's a good thing, because your perspective is, I know and I value myself as a person enough that you can't talk to me the same way. I go into every room knowing that I have freedom, or I am creating freedom, and I will be, for some of you, the first one to break the generational curse, the first one to break the curse in whatever community you belong to, whatever things you believe. You are going to be that person. And so you walk into every room with a posture that I know what I have, I know who I am, I know that I'm not average. And I can talk to anyone about what I do with confidence, because I know that if you come into my business or we even have this conversation, you can tell that I am not thinking on the same frequency anymore. This is why some people say rich people are crazy. The average person will say this person is crazy. Like sometimes, I'll give you an example. I was listening to a podcast with Kanye West. Kanye West hit like billionaire level through like his, Yeezys and all that stuff in his music. And so many people are like, Kanye is crazy. Yeah, he has his issues and stuff. But a lot of the things that he says are very entrepreneurial. And I analyzed that. And I heard one part where he's like, we go through multiple stages in life where we're given certain levels that we have to beat. And it's not until we complete that level in the game of life that we can move on to the next. And people are like, he's crazy. Why is he talking about life like a video game? But to my entrepreneurs in this call, does that sound crazy to you? No, it doesn't. Because you understand what he's saying and you get that it's true. It's facts. Whatever thing you believe in, whether it's God or the universe or whatever, they will not put you in a situation that you cannot handle. And it is not until you overcome that phase in your life that you are ready to pass through the next. So you understand it. And when you understand that your thinking is on a different frequency, then automatically everyone you talk to, you begin to realize that, hey, look, I can control the conversation. You're lucky to work with me. You're lucky to be a part of my team. Someone was asking me how do I close people? What are the skills that I use to, in sales, there's so many techniques and whatever. I just say posture. Because I really don't care for one person to enter my organization. It doesn't matter to me. I hope you don't screw up the call with me and screw up your chance to be in GC Champions. I really hope that you don't do that. I go into a call thinking, if you're 10 minutes late to a call with me, you might as well say goodbye to the opportunity. Or if you have the wrong attitude, you even question if this is legit, with all due respect, I will refer you to one of my other leaders. You screwed up your opportunity with me. Imagine going to a job interview and being like, hey, is this a scam? What do you think they would do? They would send you out the room. Like it's just different. Once you have that posture, it's very different. So that's number 3. Number 4, this is my last point, but this is probably the most important. And this will hit you in the face because so many of you are struggling with this and you hate that this is happening to you. But it will become a trend for people to hate you or just not understand you. It will become a trend for people to hate you or not understand you. I don't mean hate as in they're going to chase you down and ruin your life. I just mean they're going to hate what you do and what you stand for now. Because now what you stand for is no longer what they're used to. Have you heard the quote, people hate on successful people because they're no longer living the life that they currently have? It's like they hate to see someone that was from your circle go to a different level because it's like it makes them insecure as to, oh, like crap, why am I here still? But they're not self-aware enough to be like, maybe I should do something. Their easiest thing to do is, let's say, hate on Winona, be like, oh, she's from our circle, but now she's with these people, and it's like, I'm not gonna say that I'm not good enough. I'm just gonna say that she's crazy or she doesn't know what she's talking about. Or Zeke, the people that grew up with Zeke in high school or whatever, the easiest thing to do is to hate on Zeke or just be confused about Zeke and what he does, because they will hate to admit that he came from where they used to be. That crowd, that camp produced Zeke, but now he's here and they're still here. The easiest thing to do is just hate on him. As soon as your thinking shifts, everyone starts to look at you different. I had a story from someone I was on the phone with as well, saying that, hey, I went to a festival for the first time in like so long, and everyone started looking at me and mocked me for being that crypto person. I had my friends look at me different. I had my parents look at me different. I mean, I don't blame them for not understanding, because this is who I was in the past, but they don't understand that I see myself here. And by the way, if you think you see yourself in a forward position, whether you do or you don't, your mentor sees the 2.0 version of you already. When I look at everyone here, even though I haven't had a conversation, I could imagine all of you as a 2.0 level of yourself. I could see it. The conversations I have with people. I know a lot about a lot of you, by the way, just based on the conversations that I have with your uplines. You think they don't talk about you? You think your mentors don't talk about you? Especially if you're making some noise. I'll get on a call with them and they'll be like, Christian, you should like just wait. This person is gonna blow up. You should have seen what she just did on TikTok the other day. She posted and I didn't even have to tell her to do it. She just went out and learned how to do up. Hey man, this guy, I know there's not a lot of top male leaders nowadays, but I promise you he's gonna be one of the next ones. I hear these conversations and I know so much about, it's not airing your dirty laundry, but I know like I know the good parts about all of you, because your leaders talk very highly of a lot of you. So yes, it's going to be a trend for people to not understand you, and that's just how it is. And you'll never be able to have a conversation with your current or your old circle the same way that you would with us. I had someone go as far as to say I was losing brain cells talking to my old friends. I was like, I get what you're saying, because I feel the same way. Not that I talk to them really anymore. I have one of them who he's supported me and whatever. So I mean, you know, like I'm still cool with the guy, but I can never have productive conversations, because if conversations don't surround, you know, my business or just elevating myself or whatever, you know, it's kind of hard for me to stay engaged. It's very hard for me to stay engaged with a conversation. If massive success, financial freedom, and time freedom came with the price of people not understanding you, is that a price you'd be willing to pay? In all honesty, drop a 2 if that's something you would be willing to pay. If financial literacy, or if financial freedom, time freedom were guaranteed, but the one price you had to pay was that most people wouldn't understand you, would you take that? If your answer is no, then you're worried too much about what people think of you. And if you're worried too much about what people think of you, you will never become successful, because with a lot of success comes a lot of that negativity. And I'm just preparing you guys. I'm just preparing you. If you want average success, you probably won't have that. You want to make a couple $100s a month, that's okay. You probably won't get that. You want to make a couple $1,000s a month? You might get that every now and then. People might think you're weird for taking up the skill of trading and investing. People might think you're weird for going on social media, but I mean, it won't last long. When people see you win, then they're going to hop on the bandwagon of supporting you. Trust me, it happens. I had people in my close friend circle that are like, I was always there for you. Even though I have our old conversations of when I try to talk to them about the business and they just shoved it down my throat and threw me out the window. It will become a trend to support you. But for now, it will be a trend for people to not understand you. Were they though? What do you mean? Oh yeah. They weren't. Yeah, they weren't there in the beginning, even though they said they were. So those are the four. Those are the four key principles in terms of shifting your perspective, because that could be you hitting a rank. That could be you moving on to the next step. We have so many skills that are broken down in the launch site, in the personal development side of things, where you have, public speaking tips, you have how to build your network marketing business, how to be a leader in network marketing, how to, you see how many videos we have in our launch site that are just focused on personal development. You have a lot of the skills there, and we're going to focus on that. We're going to go into social media. We're going to go into all these things. But one thing that you have to have before that is the mindset. This is why even people that make a lot of money, sometimes you'll see, like, transparently, I've seen many six-figure earners leave the organization. I've seen it. And that's because their personal development did not line up with their income. Income was over here. Personal development was here. What do you think happens? When the income drops, they blame everything but themselves. I don't want this team to become that. And I know that this team, by the way, again, full transparency, out of every team in GC, the one that has retained the most top leaders, has had the highest retention, has been GC champions. And that's no secret. Y'all can see it. And we're breeding that next level of successful people. So this is where I really want that to be one of the main practices in your daily life. I hope you took notes on the 4 things. Okay. I hope you really take that seriously. I'm not going to make this too long of a call because we just had so many long calls, but four simple points, straight to the point. Here's how you align yourself properly. Here's how you shift your perspective. Here's how you build the posture. And I know for a lot of you finding out how to build your posture actually got you to rank advance. Right? So because of that, don't you think that could help someone else too? 100%. And that wouldn't just be the first ranks. This same principle applies for all the higher ones. So I want to see a really strong team of successful people. We have a boot camp, by the way. The boot camp for NFTs is the next one. That will be on Wednesday. Okay? Wednesday. We're going to announce the time and we're going to drop the flyer. That'll be an NFT boot camp. We were supposed to have Mr. Armin on the call last time, but he had an emergency. And so he could not attend, but he'll actually be there for our next one. After that is going to be a Forex boot camp. He will be there. And this NFT one, we might have a special guest as well. So it's going to be dope. Let's get some production in. Let's produce some ranks. Let's create some more success, as always keeping that high level. And I want you guys to really push. I want you guys to do everything you can. Don't limit yourself with your thinking. Go in the chats. Be that person who's loud in the chats. Be that person who shows up. Everyone will begin to know your name. And imagine when you rank up, the amount of people that, the amount of people that will celebrate you. Okay. So that's pretty much it. Guys, take care. Peace. Have an amazing rest of your Saturday. Or good night for those of you where it's really late. But anyways, take care. See you. Peace out.